Think about the last time you sprained an ankle or broken an arm, or maybe had some fever-like symptoms or had a cold. The first thing that people suggest is to go to a doctor, get it checked, and recover as quickly as possible. But when it comes to stress and anxiety, we don't immediately think about going to a better mental state. We don't think about looking for help and looking for ways to quickly recover. Over the past few years, I've noticed that mental health has been a huge discussion topic for our generation, but in reality, we should have been talking about this way long ago. If you think about it, mental health allows us to do things throughout the day. We need to think about the stress that comes from work, from school, from family, from friends, and even social media. And we also need to think about anxiety that comes from life events, such as dealing with money or career decisions. And we definitely need to focus on the grief that comes from a death by a loved one. Now you may be wondering, why am I talking about mental health and why am I creating a whole video around this? And I'll be honest, my mental state hasn't been 100% for a very long time. The stress that comes from juggling work to my podcast and video projects and keeping my social life and maintaining physical health and the grief that came with my cousin's death all crashed down on me at one point, and I started to get sick. I started to get physical pain, like neck pain, back pain. I couldn't sleep, and at one point I realized that a breakdown was about to happen. The worst thing about it was when my cousin passed away over 6 months ago, back in July of 2019, I only took one day off of work, and I didn't take time to process what really happened and grieve as much as I should have. What I ended up doing was distracting myself with my video podcast, with work, with whatever I was doing. And several episodes in, I thought, okay, I talked about it, I found closure.
And then when my aunt passed away, I thought about her journey here. And then I thought about my parents' journey here. I was like, oh man, they sacrificed so much for our family to have a better life. And I think just thinking about that, it just fills me up with so much gratitude. And I think that's a reason why too, I decided to make that leap. Because for me, I think I have this duty to create a life that I'm proud of, and a duty to myself to figure out how to evolve into my best version of me.
That's a very strong reason to really do this, because I was actually wondering is it because you want to try something new? And having a family member pass away is really, really tough, obviously, but it makes you think about, how do I want to live my life? Actually, just recently, my cousin passed away.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
It's still hard for our family. And, it actually put me into this mindset of okay, let me reflect on my life and see what, would I be happy with what I'm doing now? Do I want to do something different, or do I actually want to change it up a little bit? And I'm still in that process, but it seems that you and I are kind of reflecting on pretty much a tragedy.
Yeah.
Little did I know that it was really eating at me little by little. It all resulted in me breaking down in November, a few months after my cousin's death. I ended up taking advantage of my employer's perk, which allowed me to get 6 free therapy sessions from EAP, which is the Employee Assistance Program. This was the first step for me to admit to myself that I needed help and that I needed to work on my mental health with a professional. And I won't get into too much detail about what came out of that therapy session, but we concluded that I was still grieving about my cousin's death and I needed to do something about it. I needed to take a break from work or from my videos or something, which is why I'm creating this video around mental health and suicide prevention. My goal with this video is for people to take a closer look at their mental health, to take care of themselves, and to offer support for those who need it. If you're ever feeling stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed by anything, I highly suggest that you take a step back, take a break, take a day off from work, put your phone down, turn off the TV, and relax, rest, hang out with friends and family who don't stress you out, and just enjoy your time. There are other professional resources that are available to you, such as the Employee Assistance Program, which is what I use from my employer. You can also talk to professionals online, such as BetterHelp or Talkspace, to talk about your issues and your concerns, and hopefully it helps you get towards the right direction. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what I want to talk about with mental health, and to recommend that you don't ignore your own signs of stress or anxiety or from other people. If you got some sort of value from this video, definitely leave a comment, and I want to create more videos on the different options that are available so that we can continue on with the happy and healthy life, not only physically, but mentally. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.